December, I don't my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I'm very excited because I think Clarissa was definitely right. Next time, I will actually listen to the parent that is actually speaking out because Clarissa said that Blueface's release date was just days around the corner. And I was just like, well, really, it's like 14, 15 days until November 1st. And then we're not sure how long into November we were going to have to wait, but we didn't have to wait long at all, actually. Apparently, November 2nd or November 3rd, Blueface has gotten out of prison after serving, I believe, 2 years and four after serving 2 years out of a 4 year sentence. So because of that, he was up this month up for probation. It sounds like he definitely passed. He was supposed to be let out sooner, but like every time I find a way to bring it up, he was found with some sort of drugs. Because of that, he had to spend more time in prison. However, Blueface has definitely learned his lesson, and he has it looks like he has came out as a better person. But I'm here to show you guys some videos of Blueface before I dive into his reading today, because I personally want to know, is Blueface a changed man? Has prison really changed him? Has he been reformed? Because allegedly that is what the purpose of prison or jail is, to reform you, make sure that you've like learned your lesson, that you're not going to do the lesson, do the same incident again, and that you've learned that your actions have consequences. Or if you didn't think something out thoroughly through, well, and sometimes you live and you learn. So things like all of that nature. So because of that, has Blueface seemed to have walked out different? Because there are two things that have me questioning and worrying here. However, first off, before I talk about that, let's just talk about how actually I'm going to play the videos of when Blueface was originally just released from prison. And that was when Krishan Rock was with him. All right. Sorry about that, guys. The computer likes to play games whenever I play a video. Anyway, so what I was going to say was, this is what the first day of what it looked like when Blueface had came back from, was recently released, and he was on live stream with DDG, and Krishan Rock was there with him. Well, one thing I can say for certain, I know this isn't a Krishan Rock reading, but I'm just going to say it. I see exactly why her boyfriend that she just recently had broke up for like a week or two, maybe 3 weeks ago. I was curious about that then. I was just like, how suspicious that right around the time Blueface getting ready to come out, she's suddenly single. I'm just saying. But hey, you know what? Like I said, we're going to see if Blueface is a reformed man today when I pull these cards. But here are some other videos of Blueface now that he has gotten out. Guys, I don't even think there's any audio anyway, but I'm flabbergasted. I'll have that keep playing in the background as I keep talking. Of course, when I go pause it, it stops working. However, as you guys saw right there, we saw Blueface. I couldn't believe it. Like I said, I was going to need some proof before I believe that Blueface wholeheartedly has accepted this child after he was so against it before he went in. So I was just like, oh, Clarissa, are you sure he's really ready to come home and be a dad? I was like, to who? But now I figured out, I'm like, no, he was serious. He was for real serious. He was honestly serious that he was coming back home and being a daddy. And I'm just like, whatever, like I said, whatever kind of connection him and Krishan Rock got, that they got to work out. It seems like whatever this was this turning point in their relationship. I'm just saying that's what it's giving the appearance of. And then here we go.
Yeah. Pretty girl. She with Mom Dukes right now. Where your camera at? What is it called? What is the link called, Carlissa?
Come on now, you tripping now. You don't.
Clarissa and Krishan Rock. And while I was looking at it earlier, I'm not sure how long ago, but allegedly Krishan Rock was videoing. I'm not sure if Jaden was there, but allegedly Jaden was upset that Krishan Rock was filming Blueface and all the kids. So because of that, it seems like he's trying to work out his baby mama drama. He's got all these kids, he feels like he's, I don't know. We're going to read the cards, figure out what's going on in Blueface's mind, because now we see Clarissa and Krishan Rock hanging out, and we know how vocal Clarissa has been throughout all these years about Krishan Rock and how she treats the child, how she has treated her son, period. So because of all of that, to see that they're overcoming their differences, especially with this trailer.
This is back in town. Let's go. God, man, the 101 Dalmatian, viral sensation. Let's go, man.
Him, the kids, everybody, Callie, Drum, kids, my kids. I'm just here to really just get things back.
I'm just saying that trailer made me want to see what Clarissa's show is going to be all about, seeing how Blueface is going to work this dynamic now that he's out, and also just to talk about and see how Blueface has grown and what I guess we could say prison reform has worked for him, especially because she's also do tell me, guys, I tried looking it up, and I think Blueface has his account private because he has 3.6 million followers on that account, but it's allegedly private. So I can't look at what he's posting on his Facebook, his Instagram page, which makes me kind of curious. Why is he suddenly in the privates? But however, I did find out just earlier, yet today or yesterday, Blueface was up in the gym working out on his fitness, and Clarissa was his witness. Okay. That was actually working. All I gotta say is now that he is out, he is definitely working on his weight. So he's about to get back. We're gonna see Blueface have a snatchback moment. Is that what they call it? A snapback. So whatever it is, he's about to get snatched. He's about to get back to the old Blueface body. So let's just find out and see what there is to Blueface. Okay, here we go. I'm very curious. I'm honestly so curious. I have been sitting on this, marinating on it, thinking about it, been waiting for videos, looking at videos, over-checking videos, looking at how everybody's reacting. I'm just like, how it seems like Blueface just jumped right back into it. His demeanor also seems different. The way he was honestly seeming kind of spastic and all over the place, but that was just me. That was just me. He's back in the world. He's been out of touch and out of reality for like 2 years. So he's got to, call everybody up, get back to everybody. And what perfect way to do that than to get back on stream. So, especially if you're boy DG. Well, what I see here, the card that I wanted to flip over while I was just talking about Blueface getting back to life, was the Empress card. Very fitting, honestly. And interesting. I meant to say it was very interesting, but the fact that I said it was very fitting makes sense, because the Empress, if you want to think about it, is all about the abundance and all about the world and everything about physical material, but also about the self-care and caring about the beauty and the way you look. So all of those things Blueface is going through, yes. And he's also, like I said, now that he's back out in the world, he feels like he's been blossomed, like he's having another chance at life, like everything is new, fresh, vibrant, beautiful to him. It's like he wants to enjoy and appreciate life and everything that's beautiful and everything that he has and everything that he once took for granted. He's no longer going to be taking for granted anymore. And that's exactly what I see here with this Empress. And the Empress is also about a motherly energy. So even though Blueface is a masculine, but that feminine energy within him to nurture, to want to be a dad, to want to provide, all those things that you would think that would be how a woman would feel about her child. That's the way Blueface is feeling. So all of that is going on with him. He's got a whole lot going on with him internally at this very moment. And that's a lot to process. So because of that, let's just see what's going on around these cards, around the Empress, to see, is this Empress really grounded, or is this Empress being stressed out? Well, first at the very bottom, I see the Six of Wands, which is a very fitting and beautiful card. We see the butterfly rising from the trenches, which is exactly how Blueface is feeling. So because of that, to keep with that trajectory of going up, let's just see what's above him. Love that the Sun card is right above him. The Sun, all about exposure, but this is a great evolution of a process, because first we have here at the Six of the Six of Wands. He was the Six of Wands usually symbolizes somebody who is being celebrated, but here I see that Blueface is celebrating his own accomplishments. Like he's came over the darkness, like he's came from like the shadows, and he has transformed, because ultimately a butterfly has to go through that. A butterfly has to metamorph. It's once a caterpillar and is a butterfly. And that's exactly what I see here with Blueface. Before prison, he was like the caterpillar, and after prison, he's like the butterfly. So we're about to see what he has, who he is going to be growing into. And all that's going to be on display for us, which is the Sun card. But also he's just enjoying life, loving life, living it up, kind of like, not like YOLO, but because in YOLO, he really cares more than the fact of just YOLO. So because of that, he's really just enjoying the moment. Like he's overfilling with emotions. Like I wish a Cup card would come out. You heard me say that before I pulled another card. So let's see what the next card that's going to come out. Very fitting for his past card, because the past is the Ten of Swords. Exactly. That shadows the trenches that I said he was coming up from and growing from, but also this being in his past. That was what he was feeling like when he was behind bars, like he was dead and gone, like he was left out from the world, and like everything was going on. He was kind of like trapped in like some time warp Groundhog Day, and that was just kind of a hard thing for him to process at first. But eventually, we've seen that he has grown and made friends within that community, but also it wasn't his life. It wasn't who he was. It was completely a stripped version of Blueface. So now that he's out, he's going to have to find a way to acclimate, jail Blueface versus Blueface out in the world versus the Blueface who he was before he was in jail. So he's got at least like 3 different personalities that he's really got to work through, minus the fact that he has different baby mamas. So because of all of that, there's that much he has to maintain and deal and process and balance. And that's a lot of things. And also just the fact that he recently just called up his girl. You remember the one that was celebrating him and was standing by him during jail? Yeah, allegedly she broke up with him. So, he's going through a lot. On live stream, I hope that was a joke, but if it wasn't, yikes. But also, why are you just going to break up with him now that he's out of jail? Like, why did you pose up like he was a supporter, like he was there for Blueface during the time? It was just like some kind of clout moment, and Clarissa was worried about that too. But I completely digress. That was all the things that was going on in his past, right? So all those things that he now has to let go and process and find a way to repurpose that energy. And I think he is through music, because he was producing beats with DDG on this day as well. But also he's ready to come back to an album, and he wants to put his, I think, if I heard this correctly, he wants to put his experience into an album. And honestly, as I say every time when an artist says that is the best way, and this is what music is for. Sometimes I know that doesn't vibe with everybody, because sometimes it can feel too soapy and soppy and on your emotions, but all at the same time, it's something that everybody could one day eventually relate to. If it's not now, it could be in the future. And if this is an artist that you truly love, you're going to follow them. Their music is always going to be a classic and a goodie and an oldie for you. So all of that being said, let's see what the future is for Blueface. I like that. It's a really nice transition. We went from the 6 of Wands, like I said, that transformation, that dark period that he's growing up from this 10 of Swords. We see the 6 of Pentacles, so the 6 of Wands to the 6 of Pentacles, and we still see a growth. We still see a flourishing. Also going back to that Empress card about the abundance, and just when you have abundance, the sun is very fruitful with that light, that energy, that giving source. Also all those different things. So we definitely see that when it comes to his mindset, he has more of a clear-headed mindset about who he is and who he wants and what kind of mark he wants to leave in this world, or what kind of legacy he wants to leave behind, going back to that Empress. So now that he has had a second chance at life, he wants to really do it over. He really wants to still do what he was doing, be a producer, go back to that music, still deal with his crazy ex-girlfriend, Krishan Rock, that he should really leave alone. But you know what? That's his life. That's who he loves. And that's who he had a baby and child with. And he still continuously to go back. So there's something about Krishan Rock that he can just not let go. So because of that, that's something he still himself has to process. And maybe he has processed it, and now he's going to be moving differently. But sometimes, like they say, if you can do all the thinking, but once you got to put that pen to paper and start doing something. So we're going to have to see how this evolves for Blueface, if he's really going to stick to that mentality that he had, that fresh mentality that he's having now that he's out of prison. Let's see if he can maintain that growth and that positivity. It says that he can with the 6 of Pentacles, but I'm just going to pull 4 more cards for the outer influence just to see. And these cards are really going to answer for me if Blueface has changed as a person. I thought I was honestly going to get more into the fact that he's trying to be a proactive father, but honestly, that's the least of my concern at this point. I just know everybody wants to talk about that baby, so I feel like some way, some sort of moment, I'm going to have to mention that. And he accepted it like it's his own, and all of that defects and all, so that's great. I don't know, I saw some videos where the baby was kind of looking a little bit cray. I didn't want to put it up here because I wasn't sure if that was somebody trying to do some mean editing, because I didn't look at that live stream in real time. But I don't know if that's true. I think the rumor might just be true that Krishan Rock just might be editing pictures of her baby to look not like he did. So with that being said, these are the 4 cards that are going to symbolize if Blueface is a changed person. We have a stop card that was in the past, so let's just see. The moon, also in the past, in the future. we have a dog, okay, and then we have the have faith. So what do we see here? We had two maybes in the past and two yeses in the future. So we definitely see during the time in the past, it was questionable and up in the air if Blueface has really changed. And he was pondering, wondering that too. All those ideas was going through his mind. He was put in a pause, stop, rest period where he really had to start reflecting more about his reactions and where his actions and consequences lead him in life, every aspect, whether that's child, whether that's music, whether that's whatever he did to get himself in jail. So because of all of that, he had to really stop and take inventory on himself and figure out and process, what am I doing wrong that I just keep showing up as a half decent person, let's just say that. So because of that, he had to really go through the cycles and the phases of the moon, like that I was saying. He had to rise from that dark night of that soul sort of thing. So there was just like parts in like days where Blueface was just curious and wondering if he would ever be the same, if he could ever find joy, happiness, or go back to that old lifestyle. And if he did, would he become the same person? He would repeat the same habits and do the same mistakes. So it was kind of like being haunting and nightmarish. And it was just like, well, what if I get out there and I can't live up to the idea, the person that I'm building myself up to be? So all those things he had to work through and process. And now that he's finally released, it's kind of like where the rubber meets the road. And like I said, with these two maybes in that past, I was like, I'm still in the, I don't know, going off of this, I don't know, maybe energy, temperance kind of balancing. But the future is saying, even with this Six of Pentacles right here, showing a flourishing for him as a personality when it comes to being a changed man. Basically, I see two cards that say yes, and one card I feel like it's telling me definitely having some faith in Blueface, have some faith, but also Blueface for himself, he really needs to dig deeper down with inside of himself and know that he has done the work, and that he has that even if he maybe falls down, he can always get back up. But hey, like a dog, maybe he has some loyal supporters around him, some people in his life that won't allow him to fall down like that. So he has to have that faith. Or also maybe he's just trying to build those types of connections where he knows that people are going to be that ride or die for him, like no matter what. And we know who that definitely is, Krishan Rock. So because of that, he knows that no matter what, no matter who she goes to, no matter who she sleeps with, she always comes back to Blueface. So because of that, she's like the loyal dog. And he knows that, at least for sure, for a fact in his life, Krishan Rock is something stable that he can rely on. And Jaden Alexis Smith too. I'm not counting her out too yet. I'm not counting her out, but in terms of dating and who's in his immediate life, that's who he went back to. That's what he knows, and that's what's comfortable. But also those are the same things that he's also worried about that's going to get him back into those same traps and same loops. So because of that, he has to have faith within himself that he knows that he has changed, he has put in that work, and that he won't allow himself to allow himself down. So with that being said, that's what I'm getting from those cards. It seems really good. It seems really positive for Blueface. I'm not surprised at all, actually. I was expecting that because all you guys saw it from those videos. Blueface was literally glowing, gleaming with lights, even though he was a bit more on the gaining the weight side, but that was just due to the prison food, all of that. Once you look past all of that, Blueface's energy was just positive. It was like a day and night. Like this was like, who is this Blueface? Because this doesn't even feel like the Blueface that I knew before he went in. I felt like he kind of like lost his coolness, his toughness, his swaggerness, and now he's a bit more soft in all the ways, literally, both physically and just when it comes to his emotions, and also when it comes to, but that's just, like I said, trying to get acclimated to being back in life. And sometimes, honestly, I feel like you just don't have to jump back on the internet. It was probably too soon, but hey, I digress. That's where he's going to get money. Got to get that money, got to get that check, and got to get that cheese. So I totally get it. So with that being said, I can't wait to see what Clarissa has to say about everybody in Blueface's life, because I want to see who these loyal dogs are in his life that are going to be there for him and is going to keep him encouraged and remind him that he is, and that he is a change, that he is and will be a changed person. He just has to keep working at it and being conscious of it and making sure that's always on his front and foremost, putting his best foot forward. Like Lady Crone and I just recently said, I think we said this in a video recently, but if not, we talk about how we just want to be the best version of ourselves. And that's who we aspire to be instead of being anybody else out there, any celebrity. We just want to be the best version of ourselves, because like Blueface is, he's pleasantly happy with himself. He just wants to be a better version of himself. And that's what I'm picking up from this reading. And there's nothing wrong with that. So with that being said, hopefully Blueface can achieve that. I really do hope so, for the sake of Blueface and just for the sake of Krishan Jesus Rock Jr. I got that something like that, but just for the sake of the child, I really hope that this can really work out, so that way they can put more love and nurturing into that baby, so that way there could be some sort of like spiritual healing that can go through and work through whatever all that is. But that's just me hopeful, wishful thinking. Like I was saying, I'm having more faith for that. There's going to be some love, positivity spread, and good environments can all, you never know of good environments. Miracles can happen when you're in a good environment, because opportunities just open up. So with that being said, I hope and wish positive things for Blueface, Krishan Rock, and the child, and Clarissa, the whole family. And with that being said, please leave your comments down below. How did you feel about this reading? How do you feel about Krishan Rock and Blueface? I will see you guys in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to the channel. We would really appreciate it. Please and thank you. We do celebrity tarot readings on here, but also, hey, if you feel like you are somebody that identifies with this reading, maybe you aren't getting out of prison and you're not dealing with somebody that's just recently locked up, but maybe you feel like you're going through a transitional phase in your period where you've left something behind and you're moving towards something else, and you have this partner there with you, traveling along with you. Or maybe you just always feel like no matter what the ups and downs is, maybe that there's just that one friend that's like always there, and you just like, you know what, you're really that comfort, that support, so like all those different things, you could maybe relate to all that. And if that relates to you, hopefully you got some sort of message about how to maneuver and move forward with that. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. And you know what I say to that? Sunflowers.